By the way, I appreciate you guys being here. A big fan. I'm trying to stream every day. I know for like on the 28th of April, I'm gone for a little while to America, so I won't be able to stream for like 2 weeks then. But I'll try to do my best on my shitty Wi-Fi at home. I'm savoring this good Wi-Fi here at uni as much as I can. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Next up, these are NHL teams. So the NHL season is obviously, if for some reason you don't know, NHL is hockey, the National Hockey League. It's almost over, the regular season anyway. Playoffs are starting soon. Matchups are being matched up. It's exciting stuff. Everything is sort of winding up here, and each team has about like 8 or 9 games left. Playoff races are coming close together, so we're gonna start off. So I obviously have Stanley Cup contenders. You have a strong chance at the playoffs, or you have a strong chance at the Stanley Cup. Playoff team, just average playoff team, probably out in the first, second round. Maybe next year. Don't worry, it's a rebuild. And then holy dog shit is my last tier. So, Anaheim Ducks are the first one. They started off the year very strong. They did start off the year very strong, and everyone was like a little surprised when they did. But it ended up it wasn't meant to be. You know what I mean? It was not meant to be. I don't know. They went on a pretty bad losing streak. However, Troy Terry and Trevor Zegras are the future. They're going to be really, really good. The rest of your team will be good. It's a rebuild. You guys were expecting to rebuild this year. You ended up having some success with Troy Terry putting up 30 goals this year. But overall, it wasn't meant to be. You're meant to be a rebuilding team right now. Arizona Coyotes, holy dog shit. There's going to be a few teams in this tier, and that is definitely one of them. The Arizona Coyotes are what you get when you just don't try. You openly are telling everyone that you're just fucking chucking a prayer out there. You're throwing a bunch of bombs on the ice, and you're calling it a hockey team. I've never seen a more open-faced, like, first round draft pick tank in my life. They're so openly like, we're gonna suck this year, and we're gonna make sure that we suck really bad. So I don't know. They have a couple good pieces that they discovered. Karem Vejmelka, their goalie, has been pretty solid despite his record. So they re-signed him, so that's good too. Next up, the Boston Bruins. This might be a hot take. I think the Boston Bruins are a pretty good playoff team. I don't think, actually, they have, as much as I hate to say it, they have a bunch of cup winning experience on this team. A lot of old guys. I think the one thing that would hold the Bruins back this year, hold the Boston Bruins back, would be their lack of depth. They essentially have like 1.5 lines of really good forwards. And the rest of them are just kind of there. They just kind of skate around and wait until the other better players score while they're sitting on the bench. So I think that's, I don't know. They only go anywhere if their top lines perform. Next up, we have the Calgary Flames. Calgary Flames have a strong chance this year. I don't think that they're super ready for one yet. Their team with this current roster, minus a couple of the players that they added on at the end of last year and the middle of this year, they don't have a ton of playoff success in their past. So we'll see if this year is different, but I have a weird feeling it might be more of the same, but I definitely think they can make the third round. They can make some noise this year in the playoffs. The Carolina Hurricanes have a strong chance as well. I think they're the team that would be the closest to cup contenders for me right now. Defensively, their lineup is really, really good. They're icing a very, very well-rounded team out there. I don't know how long Freddie Anderson is out, but if he's out in the playoffs, then I don't know if you can expect too much, like, winning in the playoffs. I don't know. He was your best goalie this year, and if he's hurt, it's gonna be there's a long road ahead of you. Buffalo Sabres. You would be inclined to put them in holy dog shit because of how bad they've been the last couple of years, but they've taken some significant strides towards a better future. Tage Thompson is an unbelievable player. Jeff Skinner's finally playing halfway up to that contract. Alex Tuck's been a good ad for the team as well. The team, Owen Power is coming in. He got a point in 2 games. I don't know. But I think this team has a little promise. I know we say that about them every year, but I think that this team does genuinely have a little bit of promise, and they have an opportunity to make some noise in the next few years. At least make the playoffs. I mean, just give that fan base like one playoff series, and that's all you really need, to be honest. Chicago Blackhawks, holy dog shit. I watched the Blackhawks and Calgary Flames game last night because of how bad the Raptors were playing. The Calgary Flames just absolutely were, at least from what I remember, I don't know what the final score was, but when I was watching, they were beating the piss out of this sad franchise. I'm also going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to make a new tier. Hold on. We're going to call this tier Covered Up Sexual Allegation. There we go. That's where this franchise belongs. Covered it up for 10 years. So, fuck you guys. Next one. Should go without saying, that team might be the most talented team in the NHL. It's like such a weird switch from the last one that I just did. But they're so good. It's so terrifying. If this team like performs well in the playoffs, it would be absolutely unbelievable. Their goal scoring is unreal. Darcy Kemper has been such a good get for them. Like they're probably really glad they got Darcy Kemper last year. Not much else to say. That team's a cup contender. Columbus Blue Jackets. You gotta tell them, don't worry. It's still a rebuild. This team has taken significant strides, similar to the Sabres, similar to Buffalo, but this team was already a little bit better. But I mean, this Cole Sillinger, I'm older than Cole Sillinger, and look what I'm fucking doing with my life right now. Nothing. But this team has good young depth. You know, it's a far cry from what they were when they swept Tampa Bay, but this team they have a lot of potential, and if they keep making the right moves in the front office, I think this team could be pretty good in the next couple of years. Dallas Stars, maybe next year. They're close to a playoff spot, but I don't think that they're necessarily built to be in one yet. Just because, you know, they're not that good on paper, and their goalies are hurt, and yeah. Detroit Red Wings. There's some of these teams are making some good strides. Like you would again be tempted to put Detroit in the holy dog shit because they haven't been that good this year. But my goodness, have they made some strides? Mo Sita and Lucas Raymond are very, very good. You guys got Nedeljkovic, who's young. I mean, mind you, he's had a couple bad games, but he's also shown flashes of absolute brilliance in net. So this team definitely does have a good future ahead of them as long as Steve Yzerman keeps making the right moves. You know what I mean? Which he is so far. He's making some pretty good moves. So the Oilers, I think the Oilers are playoffs. I think they're pretty much a lock at this point. I mean, any team with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl shouldn't like struggle to make the playoffs. Their biggest issue with them not being up in the upper echelon of playoff contenders is the fact that they're pretty bad in the playoffs. Like they don't perform that well when it really matters, and it's been a couple years where they've been doing that now, and it's not entirely Connor McDavid and Draisaitl's fault. But the team around them and the GM, you got to figure out that goaltending situation. Like I get that Mike Smith's been good, but he's not good forever. He's a super inconsistent goalie. He's 39. Mikko Koskinen is very rocky in that, and he's also like 36. You got to figure out. You got to get a good goalie. I think they could get one next year if nothing works out this year. But that's definitely the key to your success. Is a little bit more defensive depth. I think you need a little bit better defense, and definitely you need a new goalie or two in the offseason. Florida Panthers, they're also going up here. God damn it, the Florida Panthers are really good this year. They are really good this year. It's a little bit crazy to me, to be honest. They're so good. They haven't been shut out at all. Not one time in like the 74 games that they've played have they not scored a goal in a game, which is insane to me. The only other team to do that this year was St. Louis, surprisingly enough. But their team's just too good. That's all you have to say. The LA Kings, this one is super tough, but I'm leaning on the edge of maybe next year. They're in a playoff position right now, but they are very close to not being in a playoff position. I mean, man, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Drew Doughty being hurt is definitely not a good thing. You definitely need Drew Doughty back. And Jonathan Quick has had some pretty brutal games recently. You can't give up that many goals consistently and not and get away with it. So that's definitely a problem. But I'll lean on maybe next year. I'll lean on maybe another team making it. Minnesota Wild are playoffs. Again, this team doesn't ever succeed that much in the playoffs, kind of like the Oilers, and they have Kirill Kaprizov, who's unreal, Kevin Fiala, who's had a really good year, and you just picked up Fleury to start over Cam Talbot. So you have two really good goaltenders when performing. Cam Talbot was really good in the playoffs last year too. However, most of the offensive depth is unproven in the playoffs. It's yet to be seen like how good they can do if they make it past the first round. So I'm gonna lean on playoffs rather than strong contender. Montreal Canadiens, holy dog shit. I am a Montreal Canadiens fan. It doesn't pain me to say it, but this year it pains me to say it. We have been really bad this year. I was also like, I'm not entirely using this as an excuse. However, the Montreal Canadiens have shattered the record for most injuries in a season. So the previous record was like 130. So the Montreal Canadiens are at 193 and counting. So we've been missing a lot of our players. You know, we didn't have Carey Price all year. This team still wouldn't be that good even with the players healthy, but we definitely wouldn't have been this goddamn bad this year. That is for certain. But yeah, we've been horrible. Nashville Predators, I think they're in a pretty secure enough playoff position right now. I could be tripping though. Okay, I hope I'm not like just like a bad hockey watcher by doing this, but I'll say playoffs. I don't have much else to say. New Jersey Devils, yeah, you've been bad, but it's still a rebuild. You know, Jack Hughes has taken some significant strides, which is good news. And I mean, this team should be good. This team should be better than they are. However, they're not. But they'll definitely get there. They'll get there someday. Winnipeg Jets, maybe next year. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. They have a good roster. I mean, Kyle Connor had like, 49, 50 goals this year. I think he might have hit 50, and if not, he probably will in the next couple of games. They'll definitely be good. Same with the Islanders, who just got eliminated by the Leafs the other day. You hate to see it. But maybe next year for them as well. I mean, their rosters should be good. Their rosters should be good, but they struggled to get things going. Their goal scoring was pretty bad this year. The Rangers, I'm going to be honest, I think that the Rangers have a strong chance at the Cup this year. It's been all coming together. Shit, I just hit my mic. over the last couple years, you could literally watch it all come together with the development of Adam Fox and with the, I mean, drafting of Capo Caco and Lafreniere. I mean, they haven't really been anything to sneeze at recently, but they're both still pretty young, and there's a reason that they were number 1 and number 2 picks. Artemi Panarin, Chris Kreider has like 51 goals this year. What the hell? This team is just pretty good. This team's just pretty good all around. And of course, you can't miss talking about Igor Shesterkin, who has been absolutely unbelievable this year. I do think that he should win the Vezina. So that is something I think should happen. And without Shesterkin, I don't think the Rangers are as good as they are, but they're still like solid enough. But they definitely don't go as far. They go as far as Shesterkin does. If Shesterkin doesn't take him somewhere right now, then they definitely like. Georgiev has won 6 straight. However, he's been a little bit inconsistent, a little bit rocky. So I think you only go as far as Igor takes you. The Flyers, even though they have like a better record than some of these teams, this team is fucking brutal. They are so bad. There's not much else to say. Their defense does everything wrong. I can't name one thing their defense does wrong. Their defense does right. I can't name one thing that their offense does right. I can't name one thing that their goaltending has done right this year. I can't name one thing that their general manager or their coach has done right this year. They haven't done anything right. They win some games because they have a little bit of skill in their lineup, but when they don't win that often because they have no chemistry with each other. So that's definitely they're a problem for sure. Like, not a good problem. Penguins are playoffs. I'm gonna kind of zoom through the rest of these a little bit too. Penguins are playoffs. You know, they have a lot of cup winning talent on their roster. They're nothing to sneeze at for sure, but they're definitely not. I don't think they're super cup contenders this year. San Jose, maybe next year. They're good, but they need more time. St. Louis Blues are playoffs. However, they could have a strong chance at the cup. With the way that they've been performing recently, they could definitely do that. Tampa Bay Lightning are obviously cup contenders. This one's going to be a little bit of a heartbreaker for Leafs fans, but you have a strong chance. I will not put the Toronto Maple Leafs in the cup contender until they can win a playoff series. As petty as that sounds, and I know I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan, but even Leafs fans know this. You have a strong chance at the cup. This roster is really, really unbelievable on paper. This might be one of the best rosters in the NHL on paper. You pay so much money to your forwards, and yet you still struggle a couple times. You lose to Buffalo a lot for some reason. You lose to Buffalo. You lost both of your games to the Arizona Coyotes this year. One of them, I don't know how you lost both your games to the second worst team in the league, but you have to win a playoff series for me to ever consider in the future putting the Leafs in a cup contender position. They just need to be better. Vancouver Canucks, maybe next year. They do, again, have a chance at making the playoffs, but I don't know. I'm actually going to put the Vegas Golden Knights up here too. I'm going to put all 3 of these teams, the LA Kings, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Vancouver Canucks, are all currently the 3 that have a chance at battling for that final wild card position in the Western Conference. So I think it'll definitely come down to those 2-3 teams. So to be safe, I'll put them in maybe next year. Washington Capitals are playoffs. I don't think they go further than the first or second round, but they are playoffs. So, and Senators, don't worry, it's a rebuild. I mean, they definitely haven't been dog shit. They definitely haven't been that good. But, they're not bad. They're not bad. And they definitely have a good future. They have their guys locked in. They locked in Anton Forsberg, who's been good this year. I think they'll be pretty solid.